Hey everyone, we're back with another tarot reading. So this time around, I was getting the feeling of wanting to share something about dream interpretation. So a dream or a spiritual spread is a spread that's all about helping you with internal work. They're designed to enable you to connect with your inner voice, develop a better understanding of yourself and your core emotions, and forge a closer relationship with your subconscious. So the dream interpretation, our dreams are a window into our unconscious, and like the tarot, they often present themselves in symbols and imagery. Sometimes this imagery is obscure and difficult to understand, but incredibly powerful. This spread can be useful in presenting some answers. So we're going to draw 5 cards and we're going to look at that. Our first card is Dreamer. What is your role in the dream and what part do you play? We're getting 2 cards. Dreamer, what is your role in the dream and what part do you play? We have the Empress and the Fool. And then our second card is Theme. What is the main message conveyed by this dream? We are getting the King of Wands. Third card, Connected Event. What is your waking life? What in your waking life is this dream speaking to, and what part of your waking life caused this dream? 7 of Cups. What is repressed is card number 4. What feelings or thoughts have you not consciously integrated and are now appearing in your dreams? Number 4. We're getting 3 cards. 10 of Wands, Ace of Swords, and the 10 of Swords. And our 5th card, Lesson. What do you need to learn from this dream in your waking life, and what should you do? You have the Emperor. Okay, let's get into it. What is your role in the dream and what part do you play? We have the Empress and the Fool. The Empress. So we're getting the Empress, which means creativity, abundance, nature, fertility, feminine energy, and nurturing. The interpretation of the Empress is the embodiment of the divine feminine energy that is deeply creative, expressive, and sensual. She is tied to the earthly realm and the delights of the senses, with an innate connection to the natural world. Her state of abundance is coupled with a maternal instinct that is nurturing and compassionate, but also fiercely protective of all that is vulnerable and sacred. The reflection of this is, what can you show gratitude for? The peaceful sway of trees in the wind, or the sun's rays on a cold morning? Could the beauty in these moments inspire you to start a new project? Appreciation and connection to all that surrounds us also develops our sense of empathy. Do you feel the need to care for others, and how can you support them? And we're talking about, how does your role play in the dream? The actions that this card presents, the Empress, is take pleasure in your senses, start a creative project, and venture into nature. And then we're also getting the Fool. So the Fool means potential new beginnings, freedom, innocence, blank slate, and optimism. The upright Fool is representative of the infinite potential that we all have within us. She is a source of primal energy, innocent and free, a blank slate that later becomes molded as she undertakes the path of self-knowledge. She throws her heart into adventure without fear. The Fool can signal the start of a new path, one that is full of risks but also great rewards. You may be yearning for new beginnings and adventures into the unknown. And this is reflection. What would you do if nothing stood in your way? Have you been given a chance to experience a new world, whether in the form of a change in career or exciting new romance, or a trip to a new country? The Fool's optimism will serve you well during these voyages. Optimism. And the actions that this card has is be curious, tap into your sense of adventure, explore new territories, consider what new experiences are waiting for you. Let go of expectations. Perhaps you play into expectations that are not aligned with who you want to be and your highest potential. I think that explains where you are in the dream interpretation. What is your role in the dream and what part do you play? And then the second group of cards we're getting is theme. What is the main message conveyed by this dream? King of Wands. Wands is about creativity, passion, and inspiration. And King is the embodiment of structure and stability. The main message by this is to take control of your actions and put your ideas into action. King of Wands. And then our third group of cards is connected event. What in your waking life is this dream speaking to? And what part of your waking life caused this dream? And of course, this can be interpreted however it resonates with you. Yes, it could be a dream, but it could also be perhaps something that we want to obtain. Or, it talks about dreams are a window into our unconscious. And oftentimes, symbols and imagery are presented. You might see things in your dreams, and I do believe that sometimes what we encounter during the day, it comes up in your dreams. So, third group of cards, connected event. What in your waking life is this dream speaking to, and what part of your waking life caused this dream? We have 2 Swords cards and 1 Wands card. We have 2 10 cards, which means completion. And then we also have the beginning with an Ace card, Ace of Swords. Interesting. Connected event. It talks about what in your waking life is this dream speaking to, with 10 of Wands, Ace of Swords, and 10 of Swords. Swords being cards that represent So swords are cards representing ideas, thoughts, communications, and conflict. And then wands is willpower, creativity, passion, inspiration, and energy. Ace of Swords, ideas, thoughts, communications, and conflict. we've seen something full circle. We have Ace of Swords, we have Ten of Swords, beginning, end. Ideas, thoughts, communications, and conflict. We've been heavily impacted by it. Ten of Wands, creativity, passion, inspiration, and energy, or something that we're running with. And just to check back in with this group, so the third group of cards, what in your waking life is this dream speaking to, and what part of your waking life caused this dream? Definitely something that we did. Or are doing. Or have done. The card 10. The card 10 represents completion, fulfillment, success, and full circle. We've got swords and wands, creativity, ideas, thoughts, communications, and conflict. Something has impacted us or hurt. I feel that. Yeah, there's some trauma. See, she's been stabbed 10 times, and here she is with the weight of that. Absolutely. Our fourth card, what is repressed? What feelings or thoughts have you not consciously integrated and are now appearing in your dreams? Seven of Cups. Many options are being presented. Doesn't always mean that every option presented is in your best interest, but you're supposed to encounter all of these options, whether they're good or bad. You're supposed to. You're supposed to encounter challenges to make you stronger. What is repressed? What feelings or thoughts have you not consciously integrated and are now appearing in your dreams? Too many things going on. What feelings or thoughts have you not consciously integrated? There's good ideas, there's bad ideas, and now they're all just coming to you all at once. And you're at a point in time where you're trying to assess what's the best route to take. And they're in your dreams. Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups means daydreaming, fantasy, decision fatigue, and illusions. The Fool is offered a dazzling array of choices, some leading to fame, power, and wealth, and others to love, joy, and life's simple pleasures. Each has its own allure, so she finds herself lost in those daydreams, wishing and hoping without actually taking any action. She must truly know herself and apply a healthy dose of reason in order to turn fantasy into reality. The reflection of the Seven of Cups is, are endless options enticing and tempting you, seductive in their own way? Are you avoiding reality in lieu of pursuing some far-off fantasy? What daydreams do you have that allow you to remain dreaming without taking action? Can you turn your romantic, professional, or creative daydreams into an actionable plan? And then the actions that this card provides is, list the consequences. Make a list of the best and worst possible outcomes. Understand what can be lost and gained with each choice. Don't let possibilities float disorganized in your head. Putting things down on paper makes them feel real. Be realistic. Identify paths you can actually work toward and follow them with passion. Scale down your dreams. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing affair. Our dreams can come true, or at least a version of them. Identify how you can scale down dreams to make them more practical and achievable. So that is what is repressed. We're not writing things down. We're not putting our thoughts into actions. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. You shouldn't always jump to things so quickly. I think it's good to take time to consider, create a pros and cons list. For sure. And then our fifth card is lesson. What do you need to learn from this dream in your waking life? And what should you do? We have the Emperor. You should own it. You should manage it. You should control it. See, this is the Emperor. He owns that shit. Hell yeah. That's the lesson. So maybe we can read more into the Emperor. The Emperor. Authority, structure, logic, masculine energy, protection, and discipline. The Emperor is our ability to structure, organize, protect, and create stability. He does this through developing rules and systems, fostering discipline, creating boundaries, honoring values, and ruling with authority. As such, he accomplishes all his tasks with a fearsome efficiency. He is also a protective figure who is unafraid of conflict and will defend his borders without hesitation. The reflection that the Emperor has is, you may be surrounded by chaos. By harnessing your inner Emperor can help bring a sense of calm. How can you become more assertive and stand up for yourself, your values, and your beliefs, either at work or within relationships? What in your life needs organization and discipline, and what areas could benefit from a firm hand? And then the actions that the Emperor card presents is create structure and process. Rules and methodologies can be helpful in getting things done without emotional baggage clouding the view. If there is chaos at work, develop a project outline with responsibilities, rules, and duties. And then finally, get disciplined. When it comes to reaching your goals, try to take a step-by-step approach. Break the big picture down into smaller targets that are attainable with daily effort. For example, if you want to finish writing that novel, commit yourself to writing a small amount every day. I love that. And it's so true. I read this one book, it was about like good habits, and it talked about, make things like sexy, or like make things, what's the word? Attractive. Like, if you want to do something that you don't really want to do, like you're just like, ugh, I don't want to do that, like make it sound attractive to yourself. Like, after I do this, I'm going to do this. But yes, it definitely talks about commitment and baby steps. For sure, a little bit every day can go a long way. Alright, so I hope that this message resonated with you in some way. We looked at dream interpretation, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in my next video.